searching for demand patterns for your property is like traveling to the past and then going to the future to forecast how to set up your hotel for success. Hi, everyone. My name is Paula. I'm a partner marketing specialist at Cloudbeds, and I'm here today with Iara do Carmo, RoomPriceGenie's revenue management expert, to talk about hotel booking performance and demand patterns. Thank you so much for chatting with us today, Iara.
Thank you for the invite, Paula.
Right. So, Iara, for those who aren't familiar with what RoomPriceGenie does, can you sum it up for us, please?
Yeah, sure. Actually, it's a very good question. RoomPriceGenie is a revenue management system, which is called RMS. It's a solution entirely designed by a hotelier and an economist, so it's the perfect match, who knows the pains of having lack of resources and time to think about price decisions daily. So it's designed to be something simple to use, super smart and efficient, and transparent. After all, you want to know all of the components of your prices. So RoomPriceGenie makes the price decisions based on the competitor's performance, the property's performance, and the owner's goals. So it's smart, it is automated, it saves time, and it will be there working 24 hours per day with no need to sleep or complain. So, and as a plus, you still have the full control of it with the ability to override the prices by adding your own inputs.
That's awesome. Okay, but let's start now to talk about the topic of today's chat. And let's start from the beginning. So what is booking performance?
Booking performance is simply an indicator. It's an indicator of the results of your sales. So think like this. With this indicator, you can learn some important patterns, such as when people are coming, who are there? Are there families, couple, corporates, and which channel is selling more? Your own website, OTAs, influencers, and things like that. So based on these informations, you can build a proper planning and be strategic on your decisions instead of only reacting to situations as it goes. You create your budget, you take decisions on the team's schedule, on renovations and maintenance, and of course, your pricing strategies. So these are the indicators that will guide you, drive you through the whole year.
Nice. So now that we define what is booking performance, can you tell us what are the key performance metrics to understand the booking performance?
The most popular are occupancy. It tells by itself, so how many rooms you're selling, the average daily rate, so it's the average price that you're charging, and the revenue per available room, which cross both occupancy and the daily rate, right? This last one, the RevPAR, is the most used as an indicator to measure the performance because this cross both. So it's a balance between the price and the occupancy. There are also other indicators such as the booking pace, which is how fast are you selling. So for example, in normal days, if you're selling too fast, it can indicate that you're cheaper than necessary, for example. You also have the pickup, you also have the cancel rooms, no shows, medium booking window. So there are plenty of them, but the most used for sure is occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR.
That's really good information. I think a lot of hoteliers still struggle to know where to focus and which metrics to use, because now we have metrics for everything. So that's really good that you shared that information. So so how can hoteliers use the knowledge of seasonal patterns in demand in their lodging business? Going to now more specific seasonal patterns.
It's basically knowing what's going on per time of the year on your calendar. So with this knowledge, you can understand the current behavior of your property, and also find rooms for improvements and be prepared in advance for the next days or the next years. So you don't have to price your rooms in a low level if you know that you have the potential to sold out in a high price. So if this year, for example, you're selling faster on Christmas, faster than last year, you know that you can increase the prices in advance and make more money at the end of the day. So you don't have also to sell on the OTAs if you have a good performance with the direct bookings for a certain date of the year. So it's just a matter of really understanding what's going on, understanding if you're selling, if you're in the low season, high season, medium season, or what are your peak dates and who is going to your property. And with this knowledge, you can take proper decisions to boost your revenue at the end of the day.
Nice. So correct me if I'm wrong. It's like you say, knowing what's going on so you can maximize your revenue. So you know, I don't know, how much charge and stuff like that. How far you can go in price, or maybe how low if it's a low season. Yeah,
that's it for sure. I mean, there are a lot of details that you can look at. For example, if you go to a deeper analysis and you learn that every Tuesday you have 5 no-shows, it's in average 5 no-shows and 1 or 2 cancellations. So it would become 5 empty rooms, 7 empty rooms. So it's okay if you work with overbookings, like a controlled risk. So with those understanding of the demands, how it works in your property, you can also prevent from having an empty room. You can also take a lot of actions in advance to optimize your revenue and optimize your occupancy, or even your task force. Am I hiring someone else to work in the season or not? So you take a lot of management and strategic decisions when you know your demand.
Nice. Well, now if you look to like the different channels, what can hoteliers discover by analyzing booking performance across different channels?
You know from where your reservations are coming through. So this is a very important information. You can proactively manipulate these factors in your favor. So you're gonna have that breakdown. So 10% of your bookings coming from groups, 15% from direct reservations, 60% from OTAs. So you see that, okay, most of my reservations comes from OTAs. Is that healthy? Is there something I can do to switch to drop this number and increase direct bookings so I don't have to pay commissions? And also you cross this data with your calendar. So let's say, for example, you notice that Christmas is a peak date. So you sell a lot for Christmas and you have a higher number of direct bookings for Christmas. So why will you open your availability on the OTAs if you have the potential to sell more for direct bookings and you don't have to pay commission for that? So you can make strategic decisions based on this. So you can, for example, just have a lower allotment on the channels, like 2 rooms for to sell on the OTAs for Christmas, and the rest of my inventory is going to go to direct bookings. Or you can add minimum of 4 nights for the OTAs and leave your direct bookings free for any sort of rules. So different price decisions that you can take based on the information that you have.
Yeah, then you're like you're saying, explaining, then the decisions, they are made based on data and not guessing. And I guess that's the whole point. Okay, so RoomPriceGenie and yourself, you wrote a very cool article about booking performance, and then there's a sentence that I really like, is that with booking performance data, hoteliers can understand how booking behavior differs among various guest segments. But I wonder, why is that important? Why you have to understand the guest segments, and can you give us an example of that?
Yeah, same way it's important to understand who is selling your property, which channel is selling your property. Is also important to understand who is buying it. So you learn your guest, and you learn how to attract them, how to talk to them. Marketing marketing related content, for example. So if you have like business travelers, for example, you know that they often booking closer to the arrival date, so last minute bookings. However, leisure travelers tend to make reservations with a longer booking window. And they also have different priorities. Families want to have different experiences. They want to have a space for the kids. Do you have this on your property or not? So you start learning what are their needs, and then you start covering their needs and offering those experiences, those amenities or services that each type of guest needs. And you can also play with different prices. So if you know that you are in a city town and there are a lot of companies surrounding you, why not making prices agreements with these companies? So you promise me that you're going to send me your employees, so you're going to have guests, and I promise you this fixed price whenever you want to book it. So this is what properties makes all the times, usually bigger properties with bigger intelligence structure, but independent hoteliers can place those rules at any moment by knowing who is their guest and knowing who is selling their rooms.
Yeah, well, I really like that. I think it's very key to understand the guest segment to provide the right experience and also provide the right deals for both guest and the property itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry, go.
Yeah, I would say that it's not only this, like you can also take some decisions whether is this the proper mix that I want to, not only reacting to the demand that you have, but also proactively manipulating this data. So if you are a hotel that was built to attend the corporate segment, but for some reason a lot of travelers are going, but you don't want this segment on your hotel, what are you going to do to change this? What type of offers you can implement on your property or deals that you have to make to switch, to change this mix of customers? So it's not only the only point that I wanted to bring up is, like, in addition, is that it's not only reacting to this information, but also proactively manipulating this data as well to your own benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I think most people talk about understanding and, like you're saying, like passively getting the data, and I think it's very interesting that what you're bringing to the table, it's like manipulating as well. That's a really good point. And talking now about last minute changes, if you work in a hotel, last minute change happens in every sector of the hotel, but yeah, let's talk about the impacts of revenue. So why is it important to respond to last minute changes, and how can hotels reduce last minute changes impact on their revenue?
Yeah, so when you talk about last minute changes, we're talking about last minute cancellations, no shows, walk-ins, so everything that is unexpected that can happen, it happens all the time, it has an impact on your hotel revenue. So that's the main reason why it's important to look at this, because this is going to impact on your hotel revenue and the occupancy and all of this. So it's important to look at this data to first try to find a pattern. As I mentioned before, if you know that every Tuesday you have an average of 5 no-shows, what can you do to prevent this from happening? Or maybe no shows, sometimes it's just like unexpected events, but how to protect yourself? You can apply different policies or sell more non-refundable rates, or you can also work with overbookings, like a controlled risk, right? So we're not gonna also overwhelm your team. So things like this. You can also, in case even if the travel cancels the reservations, you can keep the booking value, especially if you work with these non-refundable rates. In a nutshell, that's it.
No, that's a great tips for I'm pretty sure every hotelier that is listening to this, because this is last minute changes, like I said, it happens a lot and of course that probably impact the revenue. So really awesome. Okay, go. Sorry.
Just sorry.
No problem.
Doing this, just a thinking that just came up to my mind. It's also important. Many times the hoteliers, property managers, and owners, they feel fear of giving autonomy to their team. But to manage last minute changes, it's also important to empower your team with some flexibility. For example, if they get in a walking and you are in a high season or in a high date, so what are they not good? What can they do about it? So they're not gonna selling they can sell like a very high price for this walking. If they don't have autonomy to do this, if they don't understand this, they were probably gonna sell like the price that are just available online or something. We have some problems with this, like different prices in different channels, but there are ways to treat it in the last minute. So if you're in a low season, there's a walking and you want to sell that room, why keeping the same price that you have online? You can give a discount for this person to stay there with you instead of going to the next door hotel. So things like this. So empower your team with knowledge and autonomy. They will help you.
Yeah, love that. I think that's definitely one piece of the puzzle that it's missing, to giving autonomy and authority, empowering the hotel staff to make decisions. Okay, last question of this chat. Let's talk about technology, of course. So how can technology provide better demand forecasting?
I think that the technology, they are getting better and better on this as time goes, because they have more and more resources to collect the data and to store the data. So first of all, find the proper technology that will serve you. Understand your needs, choose your PMS, choose your RMS, and start working with this. With the time, those systems will have data enough to give you very precise prediction of what will happen. By looking at the history data, understanding what happened in the past, you can have a better understanding and better predictions of what can happen in the future. So the technology provides this all the time for us based on their reports. You can build very, very high level reports in the PMSs today. So you can get insights of when you're selling, for who you're selling. So everything that we spoke today, who is your top sellers, what is your mix of customers, of guests, all of the KPIs, you can keep track of it. And looking at this on the history, like checking 2 years in the past, you can have an understanding of some behaviors that might happen in the future too. So it's easier for you to prepare for the years ahead and prepare your budget and all of your planning for the property, when you're going to take vacations, when you're going to do renovations, when you're going to work with more hirings, or all of this.
Nice. And I think it's obvious that it's impossible to do it by yourself with Excel spreadsheets and all that, like all the information that we have today. I mean, we need technology.
It's hard, especially for independent hoteliers, because independent hoteliers are the time is the key. They don't have time to do everything. They are usually they don't have like big staffs. They don't have resources to hire professionals in these areas, in all of the areas that a hotel chain has. So independent hoteliers need, from my expertise or my experience, I see that technology helps them a lot with this. Covering those gaps.
Yeah, totally agree. I used to work in smaller hotels, independent, and it was chaos. Even when you think like it's a small hotel, no. Please, everybody should have a good technology nowadays. I mean, that's true. Imagine like making check-ins and check-outs just using a spreadsheet. So it's a lot of manual work. I would say nowadays there is no sense. It doesn't make sense to not hire a technology. I totally agree with you. But that's awesome. And unfortunately, that's it for today. But I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and sharing such valuable insights with hoteliers. So thank you so much, Iara.
Thank you for the invite. I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone who watched the video, of course. And if you want to learn more about RoomPriceGenie, you can find them on the Cloudbeds Marketplace. So thanks again. Bye.
Bye-bye.